Tiger fans, get ready for episode 264 of the official Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club podcast, bringing you all the latest news, updates, and buzz surrounding your mighty JSU Tigers. I am the Corey C. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast to be notified of all future episodes. Apple Podcasts and Spotify video users, rate and review the show. And everyone, go follow Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club on Facebook and Tiger Talk 1400 on Instagram and Twitter. It all helps the cause, which is I love Jackson State University. And we are back in the booth. Got the entire squad with us. Got the starting five, the starting lineup, the Fab Five: Ken, Zoe, Mike B, Shaq, the big Aristotle. What it do?
What up, gentlemen?
What up?
What up, man?
What up, fellas?
Good
what
to be here, man.
I'm pumped up, man. Hey, when we see all five of us on the screen, I get excited, man. Y'all know
what time it is.
You can hear it. Can you hear it? Get ready. Can you hear the music? Can you hear it?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. It's September. So y'all know what that means, man. It seems like this was the longest off season. It was just me, or was this the longest off season in Jackson State football history, man?
Took forever.
Yeah, man.
Been waiting on it, but it's finally here.
Ken
beat the team. Ken Clark beat the team to Miami. Already in Miami. He couldn't wait.
Yeah, I'm in Miami, man. What's up, fellas? Coming live from Biscayne Bay, somewhere over here in the middle of in the Atlantic. Yeah, man. I'm ready, man. I'm pumped up.
Ready, man. Big game coming up. We already know the one that we've been waiting on. Everybody's circling this game on their calendar. Everybody in the SWAC, everybody at HBCU football, even the FCS people, right? They're looking at this game. And I think even college football as a whole is starting to really take notice of this game, this matchup, the Orange Block Classic between Jackson State and FAMU. So quick thoughts. What are your thoughts on? I mean, we've talked about it, but let's get some quick thoughts leading into this game.
I would say this is a statement game. Statement game. I ain't mean to steal your thunder, Shaq.
It's all good, baby. It's all good.
Hey, we already know what was said at the end of the season. Last season, it was 7-6. This is our chance to go out and make a statement and set the tone for the season. That's all I see. Great opportunity for our Tigers, man, to go out and really make a statement.
I mean, look, I agree. I mean, it's time to basically, I hate to say put up or shut up time, but it's production time now. Mm-hmm. So we've seen all of the preparation, we've seen all of the training, we've seen all of the new recruits. It's time to produce now. So, fam, you've been talking. Hey, they all you heard from all last year is 7-6, 1 point. What if? Well, we're gonna see about what if.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I want to see a convincing win. I want us to go out there and put the SWAC on notice. Last year it took us 2 or 3 weeks for the SWAC to say, "Oh, okay, they for real." But I want to shut them down. Week one. I know a lot of teams went out there and got better, but I want to show them that we got better too, and your better isn't better than ours. So I want to prove that week one.
Like that.
You're on mute.
My bad. Pretty much, man, we're looking to dominate this year. We just gonna spell our domination with each game we win. So we're going for D on Sunday.
There it is.
So with FAMU already having played a game, I want to get y'all's thoughts on that. Is that an advantage for them or an advantage for us because we saw the film? Where do you guys stand on that? Or it's just time to play ball. It doesn't matter.
I think those week 0 games is kind of a gift and a curse. But for FAMU, it seemed like it was more of a curse this week. They went out there and they lost a very valuable offensive lineman, which is kind of at a premium for them right now. You get to put some things on film and see, where you're good at, where you're bad, what plays we need to scrap, what do we need to implement. But at the same time, we get to see that as well. So, Coach Thurman and Coach Bartolona, they're sitting over there and they're looking and seeing where they can exploit this teammate. So it's a gift and a curse, but my personal opinion, I don't think it'll bode well for FAMU.
I agree.
I can imagine them watching film because I keep saying it on every show. We got all these analysts. We got we got the Coach Thurmans of the world and all these coaches just looking at film. I know that they just been having a field day this past week.
I think it's if it's straight football, I think it's advantage FAMU. I'm gonna tell you why. Because most coaches, when they go into a game, they have multiple game plans. They have multiple. If this happened, we'll do that. They had some strenuous situations, but I'll say this: if they get to go out and get that first, that first game out of the way, and then they can come back. They can scrap anything that's not good. They can make some adjustments. But in our defense, we actually got to watch them, so we can build a game plan. But we still got to go out and put all of the new pieces on the field in action, and so it's a slight advantage to FAMU in my opinion. But I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Like Mike B said, we got better. Also,
I got to tell you, I think I don't really think that they can get any better. They could hide a game plan and scrap to the next week, but they can't hide personnel. And from what I saw, the only thing that they can take away from last game is they found themselves a quarterback. But we demolished the best quarterback the SWAC supposedly had to offer last season. We've upgraded on defense, and like Coach Prime always says, when you got a light, it shows your gifts, but it shows your blemishes. And they have a lot to hang their hat on. They gave up 300 yards rushing last week. Their DBs got torched last week. I mean, it's a lot that we could go on just from personnel alone, and they can't hide plays with personnel. I mean, they got what they got in their case, a lack thereof, because they lost players, that that's not going to play. And those were reserves. So these were starters we're talking about. So if these are starters and they're not the ones ineligible, the reserves are, I feel like we're going to have a field day with them.
No, I agree. I mean, just like Mike B and Ken and Zoe have said, it's a double-edged sword. So the advantage that FAMU got is they got acclimated to the game speed a game sooner. So they kind of got used to the ebbs and flows of the games and knowing their specific rotations. But on the flip side, as Zoe just mentioned, they gave up some yards, man. And one thing about that game, you get to see teams' tendencies. And I think FAMU revealed some tendencies in that game that we can document and kind of dissect and put together a game plan on how we're going to address it. So for us, probably going to have some early game jitters, trying to get used to the game speed. But I suspect after the second quarter, we'll be right in the flow of things.
So you talked about those tendencies. Tell me what you guys saw that you actually liked from FAMU. If you're scouting them and you're looking at it and say, okay, well, this is something that we need to watch out for.
I would say up front, Musa was able to get the ball out pretty quickly. He had a pretty quick release. He didn't hold the ball for more than 3 seconds. And when he did, bad things happened. Either a turnover happened, he took a sack, or he was under pressure. But for the most part, Musa got the ball out pretty quickly. He knew what his pre-snap reads were pretty well. But you can also attribute that to the soft cover 2 zone defense that UNC was running. And they probably did that as a favor to FAMU, honestly, if I'm doing coach speak right now, because of the lack of bodies and depth that FAMU had, knowing that at the beginning of the game. So you can take from it what you want. But overall, I did see Musa was able to get a quick release, get the ball out pretty quickly.
I think the only thing that we could see that we liked is the obvious, because it was so glaring. It's just quarterback play, but you put an asterisk beside it, because there was absolutely no pressure to him. I think it's rat poison, to be honest with you. Fool's gold, I think Musa is a question mark. Just because you got adequate quarterback play doesn't mean you have good quarterback play. So that's yet to be determined. I think we'll see that, with this game against Jackson State, because there's nothing vanilla about Jackson State. We play this game because this game is for all the marbles within being a conference game. I would just say him, and also I could say maybe, running backs, because they have more than one now. That's pretty much the only thing I'll go with. Everything else, a lot of question marks, man. A lot more question marks than answers for them.
I'd say, let me throw this in there real quick, not to be redundant, but I really like Musa. I thought his pocket presence was really good. He only missed 10 passes. He got 10 receptions he made 10 passes to 10 different receivers. Xavier Smith jumped off the film. So let's just say this. Their good players actually showed up and played. Like I said, if we're talking about what we like, I think that team plays hard. And like Zoe said, they got really, really good running back play. So we saw some flashes of some good stuff from FAMU. And I think if I'm the defensive coordinator, then I know who I'm zeroing in on when I'm putting together a game plan.
Yep. Agree.
Yeah, definitely the quick release from the quarterback. They look pretty well. And I think that's something he's going to have to really be proficient at when it comes to our defense, because he's gonna see a lot of stunts, twists. We're gonna be blitzing. They're gonna be disguising blitzing. So he's gonna have to be able to get rid of that ball. So I think that's one thing there. And one thing is, just the intangibles of it. FAM, depending on how the situations go with their players that are absent at this point, they're kind of playing with house money. They're coming to a game where they say, hey, we're short staffed. We're down a lot of personnel. People expect us to lose this game, so hey, let's just go out here and ball out. And when you play like that, it can open up some opportunities for you. So I think that's where they kind of have the edge on us.
Do people really expect them to lose this game, though? I think they gain confidence.
Yeah,
I think they gain confidence.
That's a good point.
They gain confidence after that UNC game.
Hey, you saw what I put in. You saw what I said. I felt like everybody. I thought FAMU won the hearts of everybody on last Saturday, and I said we're going to go into this game with everybody favoring FAMU because they want to, they want to choose the underdog. Yet at the same time, it depends on which narrative you want to spin. So I think there's some that from a lot of those that are around the conference that are talking. They are talking as if FAMU has a really good chance to beat Jackson State. Everything we need to do to stop them. So you're right, Corey.
From what I'm seeing, people who thought prior to the UNC game that they didn't have a chance against Jackson State, I saw some people start to say, "Oh, Jackson State, y'all have a problem." That's what I'm seeing.
Well, that's why I feel like the best thing for Jackson State was the performance or perceived performance by FAMU. That was the best thing in disguise for us because now that narrative is gone. So, we don't have to worry about that. So going to that game, hey, Musa did this against a Power 5 program, but now you're going to see the real Power 5 program in the FCS closing, which is Jackson State University. So we'll put it to the test.
Ooh, let's get it. I can't wait. So let's talk about the Jackson State team. Let's get to it.
Zoe mid-season form already.
Zoe throwing shots.
Well, that's Zoe. What do you expect? Something that Coach Prime used to always say in the spring. I can't wait for y'all to see what's under the tree. Right, going into last fall. He hadn't said that this season, but he should have been saying it all along because there's some presence under the tree that we don't know about. So we talked about advantage because they played, disadvantage because they played. We've seen the film. They haven't seen our film. The only film that they can go back and watch from last season. But this is a new and improved team, depth-wise, new players coming in, even probably some players that not even listed on the roster yet, right? With Jackson State, I always bring people in at the 11th, 12th hour, so don't be surprised. But let's talk about this team and some players that we're looking forward to. So let's go through some categories. All right? I want to get y'all's opinion on the team and what we can expect and some opinions, right? So let's start with your choice, your pick for Jackson State Breakout Player of the Year. Okay, so that's the player who was on the team last season, right? Whether he played much, didn't play much, doesn't matter. He was actually on the roster, right? He was eligible to play snaps. He's going to have a breakout season this season. In any order, go for it.
Jeremiah Williams.
Oh, when you said Jeremiah, I didn't know which way you were going to go.
But I gotta put a caveat. You did say that was on last year's team. That's why I gave that answer.
Okay, that's correct.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Give me a little bit though. One second, Ken. Give me a little bit though. Just give me a little bit of why. Just taste.
The reigning 4A Defensive Player of the Year in the state of Mississippi. Mississippi is a landmine for outstanding defensive players, and he didn't play last year. He got stronger, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten faster. He was the young man you seen, having a nice little fight, at practice. And also he's the young man that you see a video clip, that Coach Weeks is saying, Coach, we got to get this kid to starting. This is an NFL defensive line coach telling Dennis Thurman, this kid needs to be starting. I ain't got to say nothing else.
And no, I'll add something. He's a kid who doesn't look like a freshman when you watch him. If you don't know any better, you wouldn't think that big boy was a freshman.
Yeah, like a grown man.
All right.
I'm gonna go with JB Jeremiah Brown. I think we saw kind of some brief flashes from him last season, especially in the Tennessee State game when he ended the game with a sack. But I think you're gonna start to see him kind of blossom this season. In that hybrid DN linebacker position.
Okay.
I said
guess,
Niles Garrett. Since I put it out there, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. I'm big on Niles Gaddy. I think that I got Niles Gaddy as my dark horse SWAC defensive player of the year. I think this is his year to really he's what I would consider a late bloomer. I think he's in the best shape of his life. We referenced a show that we recently had, Players Only show, and Aubrey Miller being, he's SWAC defensive player of the year candidate. He referenced his teammate and how his body has changed and a lot stronger, best shape of his life. I expect Niles Gaddy to be a problem for many SWAC teams coming off the edge. So we saw the success we had with James Houston. He saw the success James Houston had. I think that's going to light a fire under him. 6'6", 245, 250. Niles Gaddy, dark horse defensive player of the year. That's my guy.
Yeah. All right. I was going to go with a defensive guy, but since y'all out with defense, I'm going to go against the grain here. And I'm gonna say Shane Hooks, man, wide receiver. I think now that he's healthy and he's coming in, I think he's gonna be a stud, man. He's gonna be a great player. You're gonna see him, and that's considering that all the offensive weapons we have. I think Shedeur is gonna find a way to get this guy the ball, and he's gonna perform. He's gonna be all SWAC.
I want to see Shane.
That's a good pick. I like that.
Put together. I'll tell you why. Obviously, we were expecting some big things out of him last season. Inconsistent initially, and then the injury, and never really could get back on track. But if you guys think back to the spring, to January and February, leading up to the spring season, and as they continue to practice throughout the spring, who do we hear about in terms of wide receivers? Right now, and let me preface that we had guys getting it done on the field: Dalen Baldwin, Warren Newman, and Corey Reed. But who were the two names that we kept hearing about? Shane Hooks and Keith Corbin. What were we told? As great as Dalen Baldwin was performing, what were we told? Oh, he's not even the best wide receiver on the team. Wait until you see Shane Hooks. Wait until you see Keith Corbin. And we got to see Keith Corbin, but we didn't really felt like we would cheat a little bit on Shane. So I want to see him put together this season.
Yeah, I think this is season, man. This is year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so I got another one for you. Newcomer of the year, right? That's somebody who wasn't on the team. And we're going to, let's say that's going to include freshmen and transfers. Yeah. Because if we say freshman of the year, I think we'll
not name number 12.
I mean, should we just not name number 12 to get some more opinion. That's too easy. Let's just take it out of
I'm gonna the monkey off my back.
In that case, if we're gonna eliminate Travis, let's do freshman and newcomer. Let's do both. Give me two.
All right, I'm gonna go with Zach Bro. Ooh. I'm gonna go with the CPU or the offensive line, who's the center. So I think Zach Bro is gonna be a big difference maker, manning that offensive line up front and calling out the blocking schemes and so forth.
Freshman. I think if we take away Travis, everybody's gonna say Kevin. So let's
Kevin Coleman.
Let's leave the freshman out.
I wasn't.
Let's hear it. Okay.
Who you got, Ken?
Who you got for freshman? Who you got?
From my freshman, I said Kevin Coleman, but if not Kevin Coleman, I'm probably gonna go with
He's thinking. Let's go, Zoe. Who you got, Ken? Let's go. Let it. The big Aristotle. He's
freshman.
Look, freshman of the year. For Jackson State, I got Tavion Beasley. But newcomer of the year, Ken, you already know what I'm going with this. Newcomer of the year to me is going to be my man Tyler Brown.
Oh, I wasn't thinking you were going to say Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you were going to say Tyler.
You thought Tyler an NFL player.
Yeah, I figured he would say that. Yeah.
Oh no, we got Tyler Brown for one specific game. I'm not gonna get into that. That's for a show later on down the year. We got Tyler Brown for one game in particular.
I'm waiting to hear that.
Oh yeah, I can't say that now. It's gonna be for later on. Trevor, we're not gonna forget.
He coming with the teasers. He mid-season form.
And I'm gonna have smoke out my mouth when I say it. So
my freshman is gonna be the kicker, man.
Mata?
Yeah, Alejandro Mata. Yeah,
like that.
I'm going with Alejandro Mata.
All right.
We're going to need him.
Yeah, we're going to need him.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah. Freshman, I mean, it's like, after Travis and after Kevin Coleman, are there any of them that are going to see the field this year?
Yes.
Am I thinking?
Yes.
Now, I know freshman, I'm still thinking on that. But as far as newcomer of the year, newcomer, it'll be Geronte Davis.
Okay.
You know, sitting back there with Aubrey Miller, I think he's going to have a good season.
Mr. Tackles, 70+ tackles. Middle Tennessee State, and you got to replace that Keontae Hampton production. He's not being talked about a lot, but
He's not, man. He's not.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
And on the Senior Bowl watch list.
Okay.
I'm a roll with. I got two in mind. Newcomer of the year. I'm gonna go with Jalen Hughes, the cornerback, coming in out of Snow College. I think he has been what we're hearing is similar to what Corey just said regarding Shane and Keith Corbin last year. You're hearing a lot coming out of camp. Jalen Hughes has balled out at the cornerback position. I'm gonna go a little unconventional with freshman because we ain't seen him play. I'm going with Quay Davis, man. I know he came on it, but this is Quay Davis' first year. I don't want to. Ain't no do-overs though. Ain't no do-overs. That's Quay Davis is freshman.
that's the name that I was waiting on when he said Tyler Brown, but that's right. Quay didn't play, so we gotta go with the wrong rules. I gave you. I made these rules up.
Forgive me.
Quay Davis is considered a freshman. That's scary. Quay Davis is a freshman. You considered a freshman. Wow.
Yes, sir.
All right, I got one for you. Most improved player who's going to have the
easy for me. Jency Riley. Easy. Jency Riley.
Okay. Who you got, Zoe?
No. Why Jency? You can't just give me a name.
I when I went home to see the scrimmage, Jency stood out on tape. Body looks different.
He stood out not on tape. Yeah. Your eyes.
But he kind of stood out in that scrimmage because of his blocking has improved. Looks like he's starting to get comfortable with the scheme of the offense. Hands have definitely gotten better. As I said, his body's definitely improved, and I think he has a chance to really make a big difference at the tight end position for this team this season.
And one hell of a podcast host. An instigator.
Oh yeah,
instigator, man.
And hold it down.
That dude got hella personality, man.
And hold it down.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah. All right. I'll go. K5, man. Kevin Wiggins. I think he's gonna, come in and, he was on the team last year. He kind of, didn't get the opportunities, but this year you've seen him he had a good spring. He's had a good fall camp. I think he's going to find his way on the field, and he's going to make some plays.
Good one. I'm going to go with my man out of San Diego, California. He goes by the name of Herman Smith. Herman has been balling this fall. I expect to see Herman get on the field. Number 19. They said they're going to have all the games aired on TV in San Diego for Herman. Hey, man, he's primed to have a breakout season, man. So if you go and look at some of the footage we've seen from the practices, man, Herman Smith has been causing fumbles. He's been getting interceptions. He's been having hard tackles and getting some pass breakups. I expect him to get on the field this season, and I expect him to have a really good season and be most improved.
Man, the unequivocal most improved player on this roster is Dejon Nugget Warren.
Okay.
The vet will be the only place in Mississippi that got two islands.
So do you think of this stuff before the show, or it comes to you like on the
spot? They call it Zoe DeLorean.
That's why they call him Zoe DeLorean, man.
Look, man, you got Nugget Island.
Season form.
Man, look, you got Nugget Island, and you got Travis Hunt on the side.
Look, telling you, Zoe needed his own book called The Book of Zoe.
The Zoisms. Yeah.
Zoisms. A good one.
All right, so let's go with.
I was gonna tell you, Nugget was in and out of the lineup last year, and this is his get money year. He's focused. He's focused, man. He worked his tail off this summer, and also we gotta mention that Travis Hunter being here is applying some pressure too, because now we're gonna have some eyes, but now the nation is watching because of Travis Hunter, and so now we're gonna have even more eyes upon him. Nugget is ready. The dude is going to ball this year in the state of Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. The vet is the only location that's gonna have two islands. Mark my word.
I think some
It
people
is.
forget, man. This guy could have gone just about anywhere. He had all the offers. The Georgia commit. We're talking about a team that won the national championship. He could have easily been on their roster. That's with a lot of the players.
And he's got a lot to prove. He's got a lot to prove this year, Corey.
Definitely. All right, so let's go with let's go with unsung player. That's a player who not going to get a lot of hype, not a lot of fanfare, but he'll make some key plays for us this season. Maybe win a game. I'm going to give you an example too from last season, right? That people really don't talk about. That first game against FAMU, final score 7-6, but we blocked the field goal going into halftime. Who was that? Petty.
Petty.
Yep,
if they make that field goal, it's a 9-7 game. Now,
Hero.
I'm not saying they win the game because who knows the sense of urgency when you're down 2 as opposed to up 1. So I can't go that far. But what we do know is 7-6 game because of a blocked field goal. And then another one, Barron Hobson. There was a Southern game. I want to say Southern going into halftime. They could have gone up by double digits, maybe 2 touchdowns. Goal line stands.
Yep.
Who made the play? A true freshman, Barron Hobson. So those 2 plays right there could have changed the outcome of the season. So unsung players. I know you guys can't predict like who's going to make a play like that, but just over the course of the season, who's the guy who can really make a big play that can be a difference for us?
This is going to be a kind of safe one, but I got to go with the person who's kind of already been producing, and that's Cameron Sealman Craig. I think Cam, even though you really can't call him an unsung hero because of what he did last season, I think Cam's position, playing that position, is going to be truly effective for us this season as well.
Okay.
Mike B, who you got?
I think Mike B stinking.
Unsung hero. I thought about Cameron Sealman Craig, but I'm gonna go Huggins. I think Huggins gonna have a great year, and I think at some point he's gonna make some plays that's gonna bail this team out. We saw Shiloh do it. I think it was the Southern game as well. Shiloh made some plays in that game that really kept us in that game and it allowed us to win it. So I think Huggins from that safety position, he's going to have some moments where he's going to come up big for us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I also want to mention last year one of the unsung heroes was definitely, I would say, Devontae Davis. So to follow that same pattern, I'm going to go with Katron Evans this year.
Okay. He has something to prove.
I think Katron, again, has something to prove, but I think he's going to be this year's version of Devontae Davis. He's going to take a big leap this year.
All right, my unsung hero is going to be Caleb Jolivet. I think Caleb Jolivet is going to be a utility player for us. And I think he will be he's got that special stuff, man. He's got that speed. He's got the ability to catch, run, do a little bit of he's a special teams player. He's one of those players that the coaches are going to find a way to put him on the field and get him the ball. So do we see a heavy dose of Caleb? Maybe we don't. But I think when we do see him, we're gonna see some pizzazz and some good stuff from him. So I got Caleb Jolivet being our unsung hero for the season.
Oh yeah, I like that, Ken. That's a hot take there, Jolivet. That's a good choice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him. Ever since he arrived prior to last season, we heard about that track speed. So I'm looking forward to him getting out there and seeing what he can do. All right, so I got a good one for you. How about sleeper starter? Okay, so what I mean by that is person who's probably not on anybody's depth chart on first team right now, probably won't start game 1, but by the end of the season, he will make his way into that starting lineup, but he'll be a mainstay in that starting lineup. A starting lineup that changes every week, but this guy's going to be there. He's going to work his way into it. I know who Mike's going to say.
I hope he don't steal it from me.
I'm going to go with...
You better go first then.
Well, hey, I'm going to beat him to the punch then. I'm going with Savion Wilkerson.
You don't think he's starting day 1?
No, I don't. I think there's going to be a rotation of running backs, and then somebody's going to emerge from that pack, probably game 3, game 4, and try to solidify that position.
I'm gonna roll with Kevion Mullins.
I like that.
Yeah.
You got to give me something though, Zoe. You can't. You just like dropping these names and then just going quiet.
Well, I'll say Kevion because, man, he has the size and he's a willing blocker, which adds to some of the issues we dealt with last year. Though we upgraded the line, knowing that we got a good tight end blocking, and as well as being helped out with Coach Brewster. Again, another 4-star in the arsenal, on the end, and he's going to be daily down some seam routes in this offense. So I just think and again, knowing what we know, we're not going to get too deep into it. I think a lot will go down between him and Jency, but I think over time, just with him having the experience per se, more so than Jency, I think he'll probably end up starting and having some success.
Have they taken it yet, Ken? Did they steal it?
Not yet. I'm gonna let Mike B go. Let me see what he got.
Okay.
He probably gonna take it.
I know who Ken gonna use.
Corey already knows, and Ken and Zoe, we discussed it in the group chat a few times, but it's just one guy that's on his team, just resilient. He was not a Coach Prime recruit. He's been there. You always see him on social media working, putting in that work in the gym, in their weight room. They try to put him on the bench, but he won't stay there. I'm talking about Justin Reagan. Raging Reagan. That dude, man.
Raging Reagan.
He will. Trust me, he might not be starting on day one, but by the time we get to the SWAC championship game, y'all, I said it. By the time we get to the SWAC championship game, he's going to be a starter.
Yeah, I can go back and pull up the screenshot. It seems like he's been saying this for 2 years. You
can't outwork him, man. You can't outwork him.
Since you went there,
Did he take another one? Did he take it, Ken? He
definitely took it. He took it. And you know why I wanted him to go, because I kind of had a feeling
he been on
that route. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he been on it. I got to let him have that one. I got another one, man, that might be a surprise to everybody. Same position that Zoe went. I got DJ Stevens starting at tight end for us.
Controversy. I've heard 3 tight ends for different categories: Jency, Kevion, and now DJ. So
yeah. That means we got a good problem.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Why DJ? What do you like about DJ? I mean, he's been here. He's been on 1400 Lynch.
So DJ is a legacy kid, man. He's he comes from that Kyle and Richie mold. I think Coach Tim Brewster paired up with Coach Pollard in that tight end room. We got a healthy core of tight ends with Mullins, with Hinton, with Hagler, with Riley, and now with Stevens. Man, we got 5 tight ends that can block. We might do some 20. We might mess around and see some 21 personnel or 22. You never can tell. But we don't know what they can do. They might put 2 tight ends on one side. And when you got that kind of when you have an embarrassment and riches in that role, and let me say this real quick. One of the things we've seen them do from a drill standpoint, they have put a lot of emphasis on the tight end blocking. Really getting in the pads and being a supportive blocking piece to the offensive line. It seems like that's some emphasis. DJ Stevens, I feel like he got a lot of girth to him. He's a big body, and I think, like I said, I think that he's that unsung hero. I know I chose Joe Levette, but I think he could have easily been our unsung hero. Coming out of Ridgeland, Mississippi. We need to see some folk come from Madison County, man, come to Jackson and get some shine on, man. So I'm rooting for you, DJ.
Yeah, it's tough for us to go in Madison County and get some kids. So when they come, they got to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
All right, how about this one? Throw y'all for a loop. Give me your key coach. All right, let me explain. We know Coach Prime. He's the man. He's the head coach. I'm talking about a coach that'll mess around and win a game for us. And you'll look back. You'll say, you know what? I like what he did on game day, or I like what he did during practice, or I like how he got his unit prepared for this matchup. Give me that coach that we'll look at, not a Coach Prime, because that's the obvious. Mm-hmm. That we'll look back and say, you know what, I'm glad we had him on the staff for this game this week or this season.
Oh, that's easy. I'm still all y'all thunder.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Coach Hart.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy, Zoe. That's light work.
I'm gonna go with
y'all keep letting Zoe off the hook. We got the DeLorean. Come on, Zoe.
I'm gonna say Coach Hart because man, just go back and look at the behind the scenes footage during these games, man. I can go back to the Southern game in particular. It was like, I prayed this morning. I told you I will get this one turnover. And again, what he's doing with that linebacker room. Again, you got Aubrey there, who's the mainstay, but then look at the depth. And Coach Prime gave a good warning. He said, we talk about linebackers. I got 8 of them things, 8 of them. And so we're going to interchange them. And so the fact that he's going to have so many guys playing, mixing and matching. And then again, we're going to have that youth because, again, he played, Jeremiah Brown and what's my guy from Georgia? 47. Baron Hobson. They both got on the field and played, and he's going to mix and match. He's going to motivate those guys, man. And he's Coach Prime right hand man, so they'll definitely get those guys ready, man. Linebacker play is going to be huge for us.
I got to go with.
Let me hold on. Coach Hart. We're talking about key coach win a game for you. He did it in the spring against Grambling. Who remembers? Who knows what I'm talking about?
Aubrey Miller.
On the goal line.
Aubrey Miller and
Keontae.
What did he tell him?
Yeah.
Going into the game.
Keontae.
Hey, he basically said that their running back had a tendency to hold the ball loose, and they definitely took advantage of it.
Strip it, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, my sleeper pick is I got to go with the coordinator that basically doesn't get a whole lot of attention because we don't expect to see them a whole lot, but that special teams, Alan Ricard. I think there's going to be some opportunities definitely for him to put together some schemes, special teams to win us a few ball games or change the complexion of how the flow of the game is going to go.
Yeah, my pick was
Ken, you mad, Ken?
You can pick the same coach. No, you can pick the same coach.
No,
just tell us why. Just tell us why you're picking that coach too. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, that's what I was going to go. I was going to go with Ricard. I think the special team unit, that's the team that got significantly better, at a higher clip than, any other unit, from the pieces they brought in. The return game is already on lock. Now we got Kevin Colvin in there. The return game is already been solidified. But, now you have a kicker. You have the punter that we brought in from Alabama, which is Johnson from Alabama coming in. So I think that unit is going to be what's going to make us a dominant team, so to speak. But I also go with TC Taylor. Wide receiver room is going to be looking good.
Absolutely. All right, Ken. So, you thinking of somebody in the spot?
I got it. I'm gonna go with Coach Markinson. I think Coach Markinson is the single most important coach we got on staff right now because everybody's like, everything comes down to if Jackson State can block, if the O-line got better, if you know what I mean. So I think everything that we said about QB1, Shedeur Sanders, I think he gets to that clip that the potential that he can reach. I'm not gonna put any numbers out there on this show. We already kind of threw that around as potentials. I think everything that we do offensively is hinged on that group. You got him the whole offensive line totally revamped. We're feeling good about it going into game one. But I think Coach Bartolone is and you could easily win Bartolone, but I'll go Markinson because he talked about establishing the running game. It's going to be important that we get a running game. We got to get it established pretty early, and it's going to come down to the big nasties up front, man. So, we had a few of them on the show. Shout out to, Willis Patrick and company, But I think the offensive line room and Coach Markinson is going to be the single most important group of individuals from a team standpoint for our success and really being dominant this year. So I'm gonna go Coach Markinson.
Yeah. That was a great show, Ken. If anybody hasn't seen the block party, go check that out.
Mm-hmm. All right, offensive MVP. No explanation needed. Let's hear it.
Come on, this is too easy, man. It's too easy.
Light work.
You gotta go with grown. You gotta go with two.
I'm gonna go since y'all even go.
I want to see if anybody's gonna say anybody other than
Shedeur Sanders.
Okay, I try to make it. Is it a clean sweep?
I think this is a year.
That's
I think
unanimous.
we're gonna see something special. We saw something special last year.
Okay. I figured it was a clean sweep, so now we're going to give him the Travis Hunter treatment. Let's take him out of the equation.
Yeah, we're going to take Shedeur away, but before we do, I really believe that Shedeur is going to set history this year. We'll get to the yards and touchdowns in a later moment, but I think because of the yards and the touchdown that he'll get this season, I believe Shedeur will be the first HBCU player in the state of Mississippi to win the Conley Award. That's the kind of production I really believe that he's going to get. But to take him away, I think outside of him, I think Kevin Coleman's going to have a shot at it. Knowing that he's probably going to start and he's going to be on the offensive side and he's going to be one of Shedeur's biggest weapons on the offensive side, I think he'll have the production to put him in the running for Offensive Player of the Year.
If I'm taking away Shedeur, I got to go with Shane Hooks. I think Shane is going to benefit a lot this season from having some deadly weapons in the slot, as well as having Malachi and some other receivers on the opposite side, including Dallas Daniels. So I think Shane is going to be able to put up some big numbers this season.
I got to go the same direction. I would say Shane Hooks. It'll definitely be the receiver. I think you'll see more of a running back by committee. So I don't think there'll be one running back that has 1,000 yards. I think they'll all be around in the 400, 500 range. Yeah. So I probably have to go with Shane Hooks there. He's probably going to get the most targets and have the most receptions.
Let's get Ken back in. Right there he is. What you got, Ken? Other than Shedeur?
Offensive MVP. I'll go with Savion Wilkerson.
Wow. So we have a Savion Wilkerson won't start, and then he'll be the starter by the end of the year. But then we have somebody else saying he's the offensive MVP. Wow.
Look, let me give you a reason why I think so. I think there's going to be a heavy emphasis. I think everybody is anticipating us to do what Mike Leach is doing up at the school up the street, but I don't think that that's going to be the case at Jackson State. I think that Coach Bartolone is going to put a major emphasis on running back. And to Shaq's point, I think what you're going to see is Savion get a chance to carry the ball. They're going to like what they see with him, and I think they're going to make him, RB1. And then from there, I think the production is going to be there. I think he has his opportunities. So, I mean, I could easily go with a wide receiver, but I think the running back, because of the emphasis and because of the new and improved offensive line. So I think he's going to take some pressure off Shedeur. I know it's a bold pick, but I'm going to go with Savion.
Interesting. Defense. Player of the Year. Defensive MVP.
Are we taking anybody off, or are we going with anybody?
I think Aubrey is probably the obvious answer, but let's hear it. I don't think we need to take Aubrey off.
I think given what Aubrey did from a production standpoint last season, and the fact that he's already adjusted to the scheme, he's a safe pick. But if I had to go with an opposite of safe pick, I'm gonna go with Greg Great, the transfer from Middle Tennessee State.
Good call.
I think him playing that safety position. I think he's gonna shock a lot of people.
Really good call.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go with Cameron Silman Craig, man, because he's a safety that just does it all. Interceptions, sacks, big hits, whatever you need, he can do it. He can cover, he can walk down in the box and play big nickel wherever you need him. So I think the staff is going to put him in a position to where he can, just make plays all over the field, and he's going to fill the stat sheet up, and you're going to see him, as defensive MVP, if not Aubrey Miller.
I think he's the most versatile player on defense. I really do. If I had to vote, man, I'm really going to go. I've been saying this all off season, but I'm rolling with Niles Gaddy. I've been on him all off season, man, and I think that Niles has the growth. Niles has the potential, and his coming out game was against FAMU last year. So I think he's going to start well in Florida and end well in Jackson for the SWAC championship game. I think Niles is going to have an outstanding year.
I'm not gonna complicate this, man. I'm going with 45, man. I think 45 is gonna be the best linebacker in the SWAC. I can say now is Gaddy. I've already gave him some shine. I wanted to, I wanted to stay in the safety room since we got 2 safeties already and touch on Huggins. But I ain't gonna complicate this, man. It's gonna be 45, man. 45 gonna have a breakout year. I think he feels like he's been overlooked. He's been doubted. I think you're gonna see a grown man show up, and he's gonna go make him some money this season and get drafted. That's my expectation. Win SWAC defensive player of the year, get drafted. There you go.
I mean, why did he say he came back? Some unfinished business, right? So
Absolutely.
Definitely needs to end on a high note. Winning, obviously SWAC championship, the Celebration Bowl, and if he could get that defensive player of the year and cap it off with getting drafted. Talk about a story, man. One of the first transfers when Coach Prime came. That'd be a great story, definitely, and he deserves it because he's done a complete 180 just in terms of everything. If you go back to that first season of Coach Prime, just how they had to stay on him, and we didn't know if he would stick around, if he would make it, right? And now one of the leaders of the team and draft pick. So great story. I'm rooting for him. I think we all rooting for him.
Absolutely.
All right, last one. Give me that dreaded game. That game that the night before, if there's that one guy, I know we're not scared. We're Jackson State Tigers. We're ready to go out and dominate and finish. So let's put that out there. We ain't scared of nobody, right? We expect to go undefeated, right? But that one game, if you have to pick a game where the night before you may be up a little bit, may not be able to get much sleep, you may be kind of pacing around the room, a little bit nervous.
Campbell.
Homecoming.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going with Campbell.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because one, it's a team we haven't played before. They are from a style standpoint, they are unknown, so we got to see how we can match up. And Mike says this all the time, but styles make fights. So got to kind of see how they transition across the rest of the season going into their homecoming game with us. But definitely Campbell.
For me, and I'm kind of going against the grain, but I'm a JSU Tiger. I got to say them yellows down there in Red Stick. It's Southern. It's Southern. For no other reason, but it's Southern. And it's in Jackson. It's the last. It's senior. It's going to be senior day, and it's the last home game of the season. So it's going to be huge. And they have an easy schedule, so that game could possibly be a preview. You know what I mean, to the SWAC championship game. So it's going to be crazy. We're talking about easily the biggest attended home game we've had in decades. So that game is going to be huge. So I would say that one.
Same here. Definitely. So it's always Southern every year for me. And it, I don't know if it's because I dislike them so much not as a university, but as a football team and just as as far as the sports rivalry goes. But
that's what it is.
Leading up to leading up to kickoff. When you hear the band playing, we came to play, and the captain's out there, man, my heart just drops. It's like I got butterflies. I get so nervous. Like you think I'm getting ready to suit up and go out there and play, man. I just get so nervous for that game, and then somewhere through the middle of the first quarter, I settle down. But that game always, it's always a question mark for me because even if Southern is trending downward and we're having a pretty good season, they always seem to play up and play us tough, and then
Go ahead, jump in, Ken.
Hey man, the easy pick is Southern, but I'm gonna go a different route, and that is Grambling. And there's a reason. There's a reason I'm going with Grambling is because Jackson State has not beat Grambling in Jackson, Mississippi since 1999. So in my book, I look at Grambling as being somewhat of a trap game for us. I think Grambling is going to be 0-2 when they come to Jackson. They're going to be hungry for a win. And I expect us we coming off of 2 big-time games against FAMU, followed up by a tough Tennessee State. And this is going to be the first home game. It's going to be probably one of the highest attended games of the whole year. There's just something about Grambling and Jackson that we just some kind of way, Corey, Zoe, and Shaq, we just always find a way to get in our own way. And that game just makes me nervous, man. It does. Others may not see it, but it's because we ain't beat. Now, I know this team ain't got nothing to do with the history, but man, dude, that's 23 years, bro, that we ain't won a game in Jackson versus that team. So I want to see us in that this season. So I'm going to say Grambling.
All right. There you have it. Well, fellas, we've done enough talking. It's time to get to it. Miami, Florida, Orange Blossom Classic, Labor Day weekend, FAMU, a game that could decide it all. You don't want to lose this game because now you're playing from behind. You're depending on somebody else, right? You're not in the driver's seat. You're hoping and praying that they lose the game while you go undefeated. We saw FAMU doing it last year, just waiting for us to slip, right? Thought we'd slip here, thought we'd slip there. We never slipped. So let's take care of business this weekend, and let's take it game by game. Fellas, big season ahead for Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. We got you guys covered A to Z. Tune in, and we haven't forgotten about you, Mo Williams. We haven't forgotten about you, Tamika Reed. We coming for you. We coming for you. Ken been on me every day. Let's get him. Let's get this football season kicked off, and then we'll circle back around. And we have other sports as well. We're trying to get to it all, but keep it locked, guys. Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. We're still on Apple. We're still on Spotify video. You can see the video on Spotify, the same Spotify app that you've been listening to us on for years. It plays video now. Then, of course, YouTube. They've been begging. They've been asking, can you guys, we want to see your face. Ken Clark stayed on me. We said, let's do it. We're on YouTube. So big season ahead, fellas. Looking forward to it.
Indeed, man.
I'm already in Miami, man. I'm waiting on y'all to come on and join me, man. We're going to do this Miami takeover. I'm pumped up, man. Go Tigers. 1-0.
I'll be there shortly, man.
1-0. That's the goal.
Go Tigers.
Got that right. Hey, I love. Go Tigers.
I love, baby. We'll see y'all in Miami.
And that'll do it for episode 264 of Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. Thank you to all of our listeners. And again, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Apple Podcast and Spotify video users, rate and review the show. And everyone, go follow Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club on Facebook and Tiger Talk 1400 on Instagram and Twitter. We're looking to do some big things with this platform to aid the athletics department, and it all starts with you. Downloading, subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show. And tell every Tiger that you know. We're on all podcast outlets. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Video, YouTube, and so on. And we'll be posting each episode on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. As always, thanks for your support. Go Tigers. Hashtag I believe. Hashtag the I love.